There will be those times in our lives where we have to endure suffering. But today I want to remind us of the one that will deliver the afflicted in their suffering and open their ears to his voice. And that's coming up next on Higher Learning. I would like everyone to think about the time you suffered. Maybe it was from the loss of a loved one, a bad divorce. Maybe it was from the pain of the cancer treatment. Or maybe you suffered because you're a Christian. What was that like? How difficult was it to weather through that suffering? Now imagine what that suffering would be like if you did not have the Lord on your side. Our ability to weather the suffering in this world is dependent upon our knowledge of the one who is able to deliver us. For he delivers the afflicted in their afflictions. Paul once said, we don't want you to be unaware, brothers and sisters, of our affliction that took place in Asia. We were completely overwhelmed beyond our strength, so that we were even despaired of life itself. Indeed, we felt that we had received the sentence of death, so that we would not trust in ourselves, but in God who raised the dead. He has delivered us from such a terrible death. He will deliver us. We have put our hope in him that he will deliver us again. And having that understanding of God's ability to deliver us will help us weather the suffering that will come from time to time. For he opens our ears to his voice in adversity. When I'm going through a storm, the only voice I really want to hear is the voice of God. This is why our meditation on his word is vital, especially as believers. You can have two people suffering the same issue, but I can tell you from experience that the one who has the Lord's voice in his ear or her ear is the one that is allowing God to guide them in why they still, in the midst of all the stuff that's going on around them, of all the suffering that they're dealing with, they still have joy. Peter said, rejoice as you share in the suffering of Christ, so that you may also rejoice with great joy when his glory is revealed. Paul also said, for I consider that the suffering of this present time are not worth comparing to the glory that is going to be revealed to us. He also told the church of Corinth, if we are inflicted, it is for our comfort and salvation. If we are comforted, it is for your comfort, which produce in you patient endurance of the same suffering that we suffered. So, yes, if it is going to happen in our lives, we need to understand that God is the one that is doing the delivering. If it is His will, He will deliver the afflicted of their afflictions and open the ears to His voice in adversity. And as we hear His voice, we will also give us strength to endure the suffering. He will give us peace in the midst of the suffering. He will give us joy as we weather through the suffering, and He will hold us with His righteous right hand. He will cover us with His feathers. You will take refuge under His wings, and His faithfulness will be a protective shield. My brothers and sisters, suffering is inevitable, but you and I will never be alone. And as long as we realize our relationship with the Father, when we take the time to study His Word and meditate it on day and night, when we spend time with Him in earnest prayer, we'll realize little by little, day by day, that the suffering that we're going through will be all right. Because as long as the Lord is with us, like I said, we are never, ever alone. So, my brothers and sisters, be blessed.